Hey, this is the coach from the Coach and Cole Show.
And this is Cole from this same show.
That's right. The same show is the Coach and Cole Show on Blog Talk Radio. And you're listening to one of our favorite past segments from our show.
Yeah, we like it a lot. That's why we're going to put it on YouTube.
That's right. That's why we're on YouTube. And that's why you should subscribe to this YouTube channel. And after you're done doing that, subscribe to us on iTunes and on TuneIn so you never miss an episode.
We really appreciate it. Subscribe, unsubscribe, and subscribe again. Just do it.
And we're going to call it the Twitter question of the week. Okay. Yeah. So, Twitter question of the week this week, we are going to put a poll up every week. You can vote on the poll, and then if you mention or comment on the poll, we could read your tweet on the show. So this week, yeah, it's great. The question was, if the Cavaliers win the NBA title this year, will LeBron James surpass Michael Jordan as the greatest of all time? And this is a question that we've seen all week long. It's never going to go away. It's never going to go away. Okay, and LeBron has a lot of career left. Okay, so we're just going to, and the numbers on the poll, we got to be honest, the numbers on the poll were not where we thought they would be. Last week, they were great. This week, we have kind of realized that maybe they're fatigued out on this question, that people are fatigued. But at the same time, when you bring this up to somebody, it's like, wham, they will give you their opinion. So are people really sick of it? Maybe they're sick of like watching it on TV and stuff like that. But it's not going to go away, and I think you're probably going to hear about it throughout the finals. So
we're going to analyze every game. If he has a bad game, it's like, well,
yeah,
never once had a bad game ever.
Yeah,
he always scored 50 points every game.
Exactly.
Triple double.
Yeah. So 61% of the votes that came in said that no, LeBron will not be the greatest of all time if the Cavaliers win. So Cole, let's just start off with this, and let's get this out of the way. For the most part, when this argument takes place between people who they're not firsthand, they did not play against either Michael Jordan or LeBron James. They didn't play in the NBA. If you're talking people like that with their opinions, if they're a Michael Jordan fan, they will not listen to any argument.
Thank you for saying that.
That says anyone could ever surpass Michael Jordan.
It's always going to be.
Nope.
No matter what.
6 or 6. 6 or 6. Done.
And that's it.
That's it. Okay.
When there's so much context to go on with that. But they just. And I don't listen to any argument when dealing with sports because I like to get a bunch of opinions. That kind of did change my opinion. I get what you're saying.
Exactly.
But no one that thinks Michael Jordan is a GOAT will ever hear any argument that he isn't.
Right.
Well,
for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
That's the majority here. Like I said, if they're a Michael fan, they're not going to listen. They're in their mind, nobody will ever eclipse Michael Jordan. Okay, so on the other side of that, though, you've got the LeBron fans who already believe in their mind that LeBron is better than Michael. They believe it already, but they just don't admit it that way. They say, well, if this and this happens and LeBron's got all this time left, he will be better. But in their mind already, they already think he's better.
They're just waiting for the facts to come up.
Right, because they know that Michael is so big that if you don't have like clear cut, like really something sound to stand on, because if you look at stats, they're very similar. Okay, I don't know about that, but if we want to get into stats, we can get into stats. There's all kinds of stats. I got all kinds of stats. Okay, but what we're going to get on here is the fact that we're going to see both. We're going to talk about both sides of it, and you and I are both objective and logical sports minds. That's what we're saying here. Okay, so we're going to listen to both sides.
Except when you talk about Derrick Rose.
Okay, we're not talking about Derrick Rose.
Not good.
He's very good. Oh, by the way, Have you heard the news about Derrick Rose?
What?
Mr. Minnesota guy?
Did you see it on Twitter?
I didn't see anything on Twitter, but Thibodeau's going to bring him in.
Yeah, okay.
That's what it sounds like.
See you later, bud.
Derrick Rose coming back with Tibbs. Oh, God, you're going to see an MVP caliber season. You should be just clinching, just waiting for him to get. You should.
No.
Okay, we're getting off track. LeBron and Michael here. So let's just get this thing. Let's just, we could sit here and have this like organized on a chart and say, okay, we're going to say this, we're going to say this, and go back and forth. Let's forget that, because if you watch a show, they ask this question and then this guy comments and this guy comments. They move to that. We're not going to do that crap. So what we're going to do, we're just going to do this organically. We're just going to talk. We're just going to talk about it. Okay. And so let's just get this going. Cole, if you had to choose one player, and Kareem's gone. We're not talking about anybody else except these two guys.
Okay.
Okay. So just because.
Yeah, we get it.
Yeah.
We're just talking about these.
Yeah. Okay, so if you had to choose one player out of these two to play with you in a game of 2-on-2 for your life.
Oh, 2-on-2? I thought this was like.
Well, it's not 1-on-1. I mean.
No, I know, but I thought this was.
Okay, on your team. Let's just do this. If you had to just choose one player in a game for your life, okay, if his team won in a game for your life, and we don't know anybody else that's playing, it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Who would you pick?
I would pick LeBron because the fact that he's beat better teams than Michael has.
Okay.
For higher stakes. You got a whole thing.
No.
But I guess this, and I'm about to do, but in order for me to talk, well, not me, but like people. Whenever people talk like up LeBron, they have to bash Michael. In order for people to talk up Michael, they have to bash LeBron. Like,
right.
They're both like great.
Yeah.
We're having the greatest of all time. Obviously, someone's good. One of them doesn't have to be terrible.
Right.
But just in this specific question, just because I know, like, those teams that LeBron has played in the finals are better than playing the finals teams that those old Bulls played. So I'll go with that.
So that's okay. So you're going to say LeBron. Okay. Well, for me, it's undoubtedly Michael Jordan.
Now you throw that word in there, and it's like there's no.
But it's my opinion. I can say that.
I know, but you just said that.
No, I know, but see, I listened to what you said.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. But and like you said,
I listened to it.
No. I mean, that was your side of it. I listened to it.
Okay, I'll listen to you.
And that's what you said, and that's fine. So now I'm going to say why. To me, it's undoubtedly Michael Jordan. To you, it's LeBron. You didn't say undoubtedly, and I'm not bashing LeBron by saying undoubtedly. But to me, it's not. But to me, it's Michael Jordan. Here's why.
Okay.
Here's why. Because first of all, Michael Jordan had and I'm not saying LeBron. See, this is where you get into trouble because you can say, well, Michael Jordan had this.
And people say there's one
who doesn't have that.
LeBron doesn't.
Right, and I'm not exactly saying that.
You just think Michael has more of whatever it is.
Yeah. Okay, so Michael Jordan, and we could go back and throw these stats out back and forth all day long. Okay, but the one stat I think in this sort of argument matters a lot because if you're talking about a clutch situation, I know you don't like the word clutch, but in a situation where it really matters. You look at the final 24 seconds of fourth quarters in the NBA playoffs. Michael Jordan shot 50% in those moments. 50%. Yes. You look it up over there if you need to. These are confirmed statistics over there. 50%. Okay, to LeBron's 35%. Okay, now, like I said, you're going to be able to find stats on either side of the argument. Okay, there's no doubt. But that's a true stat. 50% in the final 24 seconds of the fourth quarter. But here's what I want to say about it. Michael Jordan was a guy that had what a lot of people call the killer instinct. He's a guy that going into a game, can take anything outside of anything in life, okay? Anybody said something to him, a little bit of trash talk, anything. And he can grab onto that and use that for motivation.
Everyone knows that he's a psychotic person. Like,
competitively out of control.
Like, unhealthy.
Right.
Like, we've heard stories that he wouldn't let people leave until he beat them, like, as far as, like, poker games.
Right.
Like, shooting drills and practice. Like, this guy was a psycho.
and that's why, in a game for your life, you prove my point by saying that. In a game for your life, that's a guy that I want playing for me. That's that guy. And he's that guy. He has that killer instinct. What do you got to say to that?
Killer instinct is such, you cannot define that in this way.
It's tough to do, yeah. There's nothing like set in stone. Yeah, I got you.
Killer instinct, I'll just revert back to the finals last year.
Okay.
That seemed like...
down 3-1, yeah.
Like, and like you said, we could just throw out stats. Okay, I just looked this up. This from 2015. LeBron is 6 of 10 on go-ahead shots in the final 5 seconds. MJ was 5 of 11. Actually, that took me like 2 seconds.
What was that set? 5 of 11 in the final 5 seconds?
Yeah.
Okay. So my stat is 16 seconds longer, and MJ's 50%. But if you take the time down, then LeBron's shooting percentage is better.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
It's just we can find any stat to fit our narrative that we want.
Exactly. And that's why I didn't really sit here and compile a thing of stats. I got one stat on there. But
I'm not prepared at all.
Yeah.
Because I was on the road all day yesterday.
Right. So, and here's the biggest thing for me as well. You take a look at two completely different players. Completely different. And that's the trouble with comparing the two. But, again, to answer this question, you've got, LeBron James, okay? There's many times where LeBron James will defer to his teammates. He will pass to Kyrie. He will pass to Kevin Love, whatever. He will defer to them. And he does that because he's smart. He's smart. He has a high IQ. Right. And he knows, late in games, you see a lot. He'll defer to Kyrie Irving and let him take the shot. Mm-hmm. We've seen that.
I'm putting this quotation, Kyrie's clutch.
Okay, yeah. So, in his mind, percentages, who knows? He maybe even knows the percentages. I don't know.
I bet he does, if anybody does it.
But Kyrie might give them a better chance to win at that point. So, I'm not saying Michael Jordan never passed at the end of the game. He did pass.
Steve Kerr, John Paxson, those are
right.
In finals.
That one, I think in 91, 92, underneath the basket to Cartwright. Right.
Those are pretty well documented, but some people just on LeBron passes, he didn't want the big shot. And then I could come back and say, well, what about all those final shots that those other players took and made and that won the finals? But
my argument here is the fact that Michael only passed out of necessity. He didn't pass to defer to anyone. Nobody on his team was taking that last shot unless he gave them the ball. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Nobody was going to take that shot unless Michael gave them the ball. They weren't going to. But it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my point. So, in a game for your life, I want that guy. I want that guy that knows he can get it done. That wants the ball. I'm not saying LeBron doesn't think he can get it done, but their mindset, because we know Michael Jordan is probably the greatest scorer. Not saying LeBron can't score. Again, you can get into that. Whatever. So, LeBron is he's more well-rounded than MJ was as far as his game.
I'll say this.
Okay.
I think MJ is the greatest. I mean, he wasn't a bum on defense, but he's the greatest offensive player.
Yeah.
Ever. And he has the best resume probably ever.
Yeah.
But I still think LeBron is the best player.
Okay. Michael Jordan was an all-defensive team 9 times.
That's what I'm saying. I get that he won those awards, but statistically he didn't do much better than LeBron. Obviously, LeBron.
He averages more steals, I think, and that's about it.
Not even one, though.
In the playoffs, what is it? Do you have that?
In the playoffs, per game, he averaged
Okay.
3 more
Yeah.
steals. Like,
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah, and that's about it defensively.
yeah. I mean, like,
But you can't put defense on a stat sheet most of the
no,
time.
you can't. I mean,
Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard this year apparently was terrible on defense because his
Yeah.
team was better on defense
Without
the court.
Yeah.
But everyone knows that Kawhi Leonard is
Yeah.
the best perimeter defender in the league.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So here's the other thing now. Everybody says that, we can get into like, now we're talking about like comparing these two guys. You talk about like, everybody brings up, well, Michael had Scottie Pippen. In his later years, he had Dennis Rodman and he had Steve Kerr and he had Horace Grant. He had all these guys. Okay. And so everybody says, well, Michael did it with a better supporting cast. I wouldn't necessarily agree with that, first of all, because and the other thing people compare is the fact that LeBron did more with less guys in the beginning of his career in Cleveland. But
I think a lot of people, I don't know how you can argue against that.
Well, what did he accomplish that Michael didn't accomplish in the beginning of his career?
Not get swept in the first round.
Okay, but yeah, but that was the Boston Celtics, like one of the greatest teams ever, right? With like Larry Bird and all those guys.
He didn't get swept. Did he get swept on that team?
Yeah.
I don't think it was in the first round, though. Either way, that was.
And he averaged 60. He scored 60 points in a game against them. Yeah.
But that wasn't the only team that they got swept by in the first round.
Yeah. Okay, so he didn't get swept, but you look at like Mike's numbers were far better than LeBron's numbers in the beginning of his career. LeBron got farther in the playoffs. Okay, but when you look at those teams and you look at Michael's teams, who else got double teamed that played on the Chicago Bulls? Did anyone else ever get double teamed besides Michael? Because Kyrie can get double teamed. Kevin gets double teamed.
Couple things on that. Double teaming back then, you had to fully commit or it was illegal defense. But you can't double team like you can today.
That's true. Yeah.
2, as far as the better team thing, and this is what's been going on a lot lately. Like I saw an argument yesterday, like who is better, Scottie or Kyrie? Like what kind of conversation is that?
Yeah.
I have no idea what that was.
Yeah.
But you took LeBron off that 61 win team in 2009, 2010. Last time he wasn't in the finals. We'll talk about that too, because that's kind of interesting. Last time he won the finals, like what happened in that year. The next year they win like 19 games. Michael retires, and then the Bulls win 55 games. Scottie Pippen's number 3 in MVP voting.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying that team wasn't great. I mean, I'm not saying the team was bad. I don't know what I'm saying right now. I'm very confused by myself. But the thing you can make the argument that, I mean, even this year, they're so bad without LeBron. When LeBron didn't play, and there were times when Terry and Kevin didn't play as well, but their 0-8 was without LeBron. I think that any team that LeBron has been on, you take him off that team, whether it's the early Cavs, the Heat, or these Cavs, they get so much worse. And we saw, like, we have evidence of that, and then we have evidence of MJ leaving to go play baseball, and the team is still very competitive.
Okay.
I think it's because people undersell Scottie. Like
they do, but at the same time, again, they're not the same player. So,
right, obviously,
like you could say that those teams, they didn't have a whole lot around them. Let's be honest. In the beginning with LeBron, there's no doubt about that. But
Ruby Gibson to the finals.
Yeah. But he was a distributor. He's like a pass first mentality guy, honestly.
Who scores 28 a game.
But then, yeah.
Which is insane.
Yeah, I mean, he's more of a Magic Johnson than he is a Michael Jordan, if you're going to compare two guys. Would you agree with that?
I heard that argument so much, and at first I think I did agree with it until, like, he's just so dominant, like, scoring-wise. Like,
right. I mean, I'm just saying, like, not in terms of, like, how great they were, but in terms of the style of play.
Even style of play, like, he's still, I don't know. lean towards, just because of, their size is similar.
Right.
LeBron probably has like 50 pounds on.
That's the thing.
On Magic.
That's the thing. And okay, well, what about this side of it? So LeBron had to leave Cleveland the first time.
He had to, because that management was terrible. And,
okay, well, be that as it may, he leaves the first time and goes and teams up with 2 other Hall of Fame players to get a title.
Chris Bosh is probably.
He's on the fringe, but I think he goes.
What Howard is going, Chris Bosh is going.
Yeah. And he went 2 for 4 on those teams with those 2 other guys.
The only one that he should have won out of that one. And not the only one.
Yeah.
They should have beat Dallas.
That was ugly.
The one against the Spurs,
that
Spurs team was better.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I get that they have LeBron James and Dwayne Wade, but Dwayne Wade wasn't himself. Chris Bosh wasn't himself. LeBron averaged everything more than Wade and Bosh combined in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that cannot happen with your second player.
Right.
And then the rest of the team was just so old.
Yeah.
They got ran off the floor.
Yeah. They had a lot of good role players, but yeah.
That first team is great.
Yeah. The Dallas, that's the biggest cloud over LeBron is the Dallas series, because that was ugly.
It is. And I feel like we can move past that. It was 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And he's done a lot more since then. Just like we could probably move past that. MJ got swept in the first round a bunch of times.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he did a bunch after that.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. So you look at, and why do we not just say, like, the fact that, what has LeBron been to, 8 straight finals? Is that what it is? 7. Okay, so he's gotten to 7 in a row. But it seems like, and we do this in every sport, not just NBA, we do it in the NFL too. Like, you take a look at the Buffalo Bills teams, and you look at the Minnesota Vikings teams that made the Super Bowl. Oh, they sucked. They lost in the Super Bowl. They couldn't get it done in the Super Bowl. So that automatically, like, devalues them.
Yeah.
Why can't we appreciate the fact that they've made it to the Super Bowl? Why can't we appreciate the fact that LeBron's been to the finals 7 times? But his record isn't as good. But he still got there. You know what I mean?
And that's correct, because that's another argument that I have. Like, yes, he's not 6 for 6, but he's playing other finals teams. Like, they play in pretty good teams.
Yeah. But on the flip side of that, that's why 6 for 6 is so impressive. That's why 6 for 6 is like the bottom line argument for most people who talk about Michael Jordan. And I will say, in my opinion, had not Michael Jordan,
he's the one who won at least one of them.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
For sure.
Maybe. He would have got one more,
in 95,
for sure.
They did not have Dennis Rodman in 95.
Right. 90. Well, okay.
94 and 95.
They won both years. Yeah. Okay. So
Horace Grant was still on the team in 94. They had no one in 95 as sort of that power forward.
Yeah. I think they win in 94 for sure. Maybe not 95. Fair to say? I mean, it's tough to speculate that, but
yeah, it is.
Because a lot of people will say, well, if MJ didn't retire, they'd have 8 in a row.
And people just take that as fact.
Right.
Again, without any context.
And I'm not doubting that. I'm not saying that could not have happened, because obviously it could have happened. I do think they'd probably get one more. And then a lot of people forget the fact that Michael came back for half a season, that shortened season.
Well,
and they kind of like, that's kind of like forgotten.
The last 30 games.
Yeah, it's kind of like forgotten.
And then they got beat by Shaq and then.
But he was not the same guy at that point. He wasn't in basketball shape. He had that good game in the Garden when he came back.
65 points.
But overall, I mean, most basketball guys will tell you that he wasn't the same player until he Yeah. So, but to me, okay, there's 2 people in the history of sports. And there's all kinds of different guys. So you could say, like, athletes who transcended, like, previous notions of greatness in any sport. There's guys like Willie Mays, Jim Brown, Babe Ruth, Bobby Orr in hockey, Ben Hogan in golf, Sandy Koufax, Roger Federer, whatever, tennis, all those guys. You can think of all these different guys that changed the game that they played. 2 people, in my opinion, that had a level of popularity and, like, aura, and not only changed their sport, but changed the world. And
that's part of it too.
And that's Muhammad Ali and that's Michael Jordan.
Sure.
Those are the two guys that you talk of like Allen Iverson, for instance, was on Colin Cowherd's show the other day, and he asked him about what it was like to play against Michael Jordan, because Michael Jordan was Allen Iverson's idol, okay, and that's what he wanted to be like. So the first time he played him, he said that he literally saw in his mind aura around Michael Jordan. He didn't believe he was real.
That's kind of the problem, though.
And he said when he walked up to him and he stood next to him, he was just staring at his shoes and said, "Oh my God, those are real. He's real." And he couldn't believe it. And that does not happen with LeBron James. Now, is that because of like the time we live in where everybody sees him?
100%. It's that, and it's the fact that when Larry Bird and Magic Johnson retired, the NBA needed something. And David Stern pushed. I mean, Michael Jordan was the best player, but he pushed it to a level where he was just polarizing. Like he said, anywhere you knew who Michael Jordan was.
Right.
And that's part of it.
Yeah.
And everyone's saying he's the greatest, he's the greatest, he's the greatest, he's the greatest, he's the greatest. It gets hammered in your head.
Mm-hmm.
It gets passed down to other people. Because, I mean, we were what, like 6, 7 when he was like NBA?
Mm-hmm.
And people still tell it, like, we get told, like, yeah, he was the best. There's like no. And then it's hammered into us, and then that's it. And it's just like, it's a romanticization, it's a nostalgic thing. Because I'm sure when 35-year-olds, like, well, basically like 30 and up, if you're a huge basketball fan, like, you were a kid watching. You were like a young adult watching. And it was just like, you're growing up watching the greatest thing ever in basketball. You can't let that go.
Yeah.
And probably what's going to happen in like 20 years is someone's going to be better than LeBron. And we're going to have to let that go. And there's going to be the same argument.
Yeah.
Is this guy better than LeBron? No, LeBron's the best all time. LeBron's second best all time. No one's better than him.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be the same thing.
Yeah. We could keep talking about this. Like, you can't put into a 25-minute segment all the things that we could say back and forth about these guys. There's just no way you can do it. You can't do it. But if we're gonna, we could do a whole show. Honestly, a 2-hour show, easily a 2-hour show, and talk about both their careers and go. I mean,
do some research. Talking about sandbagging.
I mean, but we could. I mean, you're right. We could do it for 2 hours.
Yeah.
So to bottom line, what our Twitter question of the week was, and that was, if LeBron James defeats the the Golden State Warriors, will he eclipse Michael Jordan? He will never, ever eclipse the majority of people in the world. He will never be better than Michael Jordan. That's even if he really was, he will never be thought that. Because like we just said, there was 2 guys ever in the history of sports, and he's one of them. And that's just the way it's going to be. So I say no. 61% of the votes said no. You say yes in your mind.
If he beats team, yes.
You say yes.
There's like 4 teams that he's beat in the finals and that were better than anything that Michael played in the finals. There's probably teams that LeBron has played in the finals that would probably beat those Bulls.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't say that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Those teams weren't that good. No, I'm not saying the Bulls, but I'm saying I was going to have the Bulls. but, I mean, I just did what you were talking about. Like, not because they didn't lose.
Yeah.
Not because they lost in the finals, but just the competition, like, they weren't, like, all-time great teams. Like, some of these teams that LeBron has played in the finals are all-time great teams.
Yeah. For me to ever change my opinion on who the greatest basketball player ever was, it's going to take, like, he needs, like, 100 more championships.
Okay. So,
but it's not all about championships, and we always talk about that. But in my mind, it's Michael Jordan. It's Michael Jordan.
That's such an unreasonable thing for someone to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you need to go to like 10 finals. And
It is.
There's a guy at work who I was leaving for the day on Friday, and we were just having a little chit chat about the finals.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Man, LeBron sucked. He could be so much better." What could he do better?
He is soft, but that's all right.
He's arguably the second greatest player of all time, and he's saying that he could do so much more.
Oh, I'm not saying that.
Tell me what, like, and those are arguments.
Yeah.
And he's 40 years old.
Yeah.
And he grew up watching MJ.
Right.
And it's just, this guy is taking his favorite players, his greatest players, like, he's neck and neck with them, but he can't have it, so I'm going to make up all these things just to cover that up.
Yeah. And that, in my mind, and that's the biggest reason, like, in my mind, that's why Michael Jordan is better than LeBron James. It's because of his mental, his craziness. He's insane. His competitive drive.
How do you determine that, though? Because how can you say that LeBron, who's been to 6?
But it's just like, again, Michael Jordan had a scoring mentality all the time. LeBron James doesn't. So it's hard to compare that. But we got to move on, unfortunately. We got to move on. So to bottom line, you say, yes, he will. I say, no, he won't.
If they do it,